one of my favorite means of communication because it doesn't involve talking, and I have talked about this for several months now ongoing. It's been one of my hyperfixations and like observations with myself, is that I'm such I'm not a fan of language so much, because I find language to be so limiting in being able to express like all of the inner thoughts and the feelings that I have, that I just genuinely so many times can't find the words for, not because like my vocabulary sucks, but just because I think English is quite a limiting language, and although I do speak a second language, I'm not fluent in that second language, and it's also a very complex language, and I'm just not interested in like learning the whole ass vocabulary of another language that I speak predominantly in English. It's my main, most fluent, first language, main language that I think in, I dream in, I feel in, like, but again, I really think it's a limiting language, because I so many times struggle to be able to express so many thoughts and so many feelings, and perhaps it would help to expand my vocabulary, but at the same time, I think even with the vocabulary I have, it's like, I shouldn't be this stuck so many times, and I do just think it's English, like, not only English as a language, but I think, like, it does have to do predominantly with the language that I speak, and it being genuinely limiting. And also, like, I think this could also apply to all languages, because we can't come up with all the words in all of the languages to express feelings and emotions that perhaps not a vast majority, let's say, of the population have even experienced. And so if there are people in this world that have these feelings, but like they're not going to come out and like make up a new word. They're going to already assume this word exists somewhere in their language, in the vocabulary, but they just don't know that word, right? And then they're like, oh, like I'm trying to explain this feeling that I have, but I don't know the word for it, and I'm like just going to assume there is a word for it, because right, we think that every single word that exists on planet Earth to explain every single thing, every item, every feeling, every natural occurrence, like animal, food, feeling, like, you know, these things that maybe inanimate objects, let's say, like more like the non-animate objects, actually I should know the word for that. Yeah, we just assume like we've created all the words to express and explain all of the things, but in reality there's so many like new things, like gaslighting. That was not a word that existed, I think, 20, 30, 50 years ago for sure, right? Like, that was a new word. That was like a newish word that we had to come up with to explain something that we had sort of come across more recently as a society. And so not that like all of my feelings and thoughts are like brand new and never been felt before, but I just think I don't know, I just think maybe like the words just haven't been expressed or created, at least not in my language that I speak. And so I just feel really, really limited by language. I really don't. And I think that's why like I come across sounding like an idiot half of the time, because it seems like I don't even know how to speak the language that I am supposedly fluent in.